Hello summoners, Ziploxx here with How to Build Lee Sin. I thought Lee Sin would make a perfect addition to the How to Build series. His versatile build options allow for a lot of retooling to tailor to your team's specific needs. Lee is quite a package himself. He has 2 low cooldown gap closers, a move speed slow, an attack speed slow, a shield, a semi-reliable AoE knockup, a kick, sustain, and he can deal a load of damage on top of all of it. He also uses energy as a resource, so let's keep that in mind when we come across stats like mana and CDR. On to Lee's starting item choices. You can go ahead and pause here if you want to take a closer look at these, but I'll be going over all of them. Now, because of Lee's high lane mobility, starting without a ward is a little less of a problem. Starting without a ward should usually warrant a more cautious playstyle, but when playing champs with free gap closers, and I say free compared to a 5-minute flash cooldown, feel a little more peace of mind starting wardless. Doran's Blade may be the most common wardless start on Lee currently. This is because Lee Sin has high early attack damage ratios, and because of the percentage missing HP dealt on his Q, he has a deadly level 2 kill potential. This potential brings us to the starting with the Red Elixir of Fortitude with potions. Since the nerf of the Red Elixir, we've seen very little of it because its high risk, high reward nature, but it's still viable on champions with insane level 2 kill potential like Lee and Riven and Rengar. I have also seen some pros starting with a Longsword and 2 potions. Maybe you'd like to go for an early Hexdrinker against a mid or top lane AP champion. All of these 3 builds have the same starting idea though, high early attack damage and sustain to go along with it. I have seen some junglers play with Doran's Blade and Longsword starts as well. Feel free to play with that and make sure you get a smiteless leash or at least a lot of help with your leash. Keep Doran's shield plus potions as well as cloth armor plus potions in mind. Being a manaless champ, these are safe starting builds for Lee against an AD lane that you're not so confident in. Like on many manaless champs currently, Regrowth Bead, a ward, and 5 HP pots is a popular take on Lee. Double Regrowth Bead with 3 HP potions is common as well. Here are some items to keep in mind when you first go back on Lee Sin. Pause here to look further, but I will cover them now. Pickaxe is a good option on Lee if you are snowballing and you want to kill your lane more. Another snowballing option is another Doran's Blade. Lee has really good AD ratios and damage, so he can use every bit of attack damage from those items. Vampire Scepter is another good early option on Lee and offers you a good load of sustain. Pickaxe and Vamp Scepter both help towards building Ravenous Hydra, which is currently being built on a lot of Lee Sins. Hexdrinker is another good option for Lee like I mentioned above, and can be taken early. Many Lees will get an early Tiamat and Max E first, giving them amazing wave clear. It should be noted that Black Cleaver is occasionally built and that Lee Sin is not so energy hungry that he can't build any cooldown. This is because of the energy back from his passive, and how low energy cost his abilities are. Any more cooldown reduction than a Brutalizer though, and you're doing yourself a disservice. Phage can be considered if your lane is kiting you or you're having trouble catching people in ganks. Jungle Lee should look to get a Spirit of the Ancient Golem or Wriggle's Lantern, although it should be noted Ancient Golem is being built much more in the pro scene on Lee Sin. Many pro junglers are rushing Madred's Razor and Sightstone, but instead of finishing the Razor, they rush a utility item like Iron Solari. Later into the game, consider these items. Sightstone is an awesome buy on both lane and jungle Lee. I'd go as far as to say that this item is core, though generally you should look to build another item first to help your mid game. It gives you a load of gap closers that you can refuel every time you back. If you need to get a Runic Bulwark, Randuin's Zoan, or Iron Solari for tankiness, the middle game is the place to do it. Although Lee has high ratios, he has good peel, mobility, and CC, so if he needs to fill the more utility tank peeler niche, he can. Warmogs, Sunfire, and Guardian's Angel are all built on Lee Sin when they need to be. Lee Sin is a perfect example for the right tool for the right job kind of champion build. Jungle Sin is especially better for tanking because he does not scale as well into the late game, so building defensive stats on him is advantageous. Other AD choices we have for Lee are Last Whisper and Blade of the Ruined King. Although I see much less Bork than Last Whisper, it is still built occasionally. Like mentioned before, Ravenous Hydra is a common build on Lee Sin. Bloodthirster is still built often as well, but it seems like most of the pros are looking into Hydra to get their lifesteal. I'll also mention Frozen Mallet here, as it is built on a limited basis. Here is a list of some of the build orders the pros are going with. I like this shot because it shows you what stats the pros are choosing to itemize and at what stage in the game they are doing it. Pause here to take a better look. This has been How to Build Lee Sin. Thanks for joining me, you guys.